Hi, I'm Praxis. You probably already know me, and if you don't, be nice or be quiet. So I'm back home, as you can tell, and I've got my collar back on, finally. And I've got another of the big coffees, which I'm gonna get started on because it's gonna take long enough anyway. So I hope you brought your own drink, or if you don't, that you're comfortable. And let's see what we'll talk about today. Due to all the traveling, there was a lot of recovery this week. A little more than I would have liked. Out of the 5 days since I'm back, including today, 2 of them were solely days of recovery. One, Monday, or rather Tuesday. Monday I actually got more work done, but then I came to a halt on Tuesday. And then later, yesterday, Thursday, I'm recording this on Friday. Thursday was also another day of recovery because I had a family call on Wednesday, and apparently I needed another day. As you may be able to tell, I'm not too happy with that. But besides that, I've actually gotten a lot of things done, and a lot of hard things done too. I've started taking better notes. I've started actually making diagrams about things that confuse me, trying to figure them out. One big upside of reading that game design book is being told that you should impart visual processes in figuring these things out, which I've been lacking. I've only ever made diagrams for classes or to pass things, never for myself, never to figure things out, and apparently that's needed. Speaking of the game design book, I feel like I've done it injustice last time I talked about it. I was all scatterbrained on account of not being home, and essentially what happens in the book, around 150 pages in, there's a chapter about demographics, specifically age and gender. And in that context, they had a few outdated takes that did stick with me because, hi, I'm non-binary, and I think a lot of this is fake, but one of the things that appalled me was that and I'm paraphrasing here, why do these kind of puzzle games appeal to women more than to male gamers? And they say that, some people say that it's because it engages the primal gathering urge. And, as someone on the spectrum, I get the appeal of collecting things, and I don't think it has anything to do with gender. Besides that, it's been a good book, right? Like, I've learned so many things. Also about how I consume games, how I read games. I learned about the concept of a holographic lens to analyze games with. Looking at the game on all its levels, experience it produces within the player, looking at all of that at once, right? When I first got wise to things like triggers and stuff, the next few games I played, and this is like years ago, but the next few games I played after learning that kind of thing had me, stop in place when I hit a trigger. Oh, okay, so that's how the magic works. Oh, that's a shame. It started off being this dissecting kind of thing where you lose the fun in it. But one of the things the book tries to get you to, and one of the things I've been doing before I read the book, was to get past that, to be able to see, oh, there's a trigger here, and to still have fun and engage with the game as you had been before. Understanding the mechanics without losing sight of the game, or the experience, or what, you're probably supposed to feel right now. And that served me well. One of the things I'm digesting right now is a subsection in the balancing chapter about what meaningful choices are in games. And they make the point, and I think they quote from somewhere else actually, that choices are meaningful if they correspond to specific desires instilled by the game. And you run into frustration if, the number of desires don't match the number of choices. So, if you really want to do something but the game doesn't let you do that yet, that's frustrating. Or if you don't know what you want and you have all these choices, that's intimidating. It is about instilling the desire and then giving the choice to fulfill it or not. That is an insight I have been lacking. It's completely novel to me right now. It's wild because it makes sense, and I'm looking at games and I'm looking at what frustrates me in them and what doesn't, and I'm seeing that seems to be accurate. If there's a linear game and I want to do something but I can't yet because the story told me, it's not time yet, then that's frustrating. At the same time, if it's a survival game, I don't really care, I could just have a small gathering loop, I will keep surviving, then that's intimidating, right? I don't know how I will want to proceed. So it's interesting to see that, also to, think about some of the games that come in mind, try to identify this. And I'm thinking about like level select overworlds in Super Mario, that when you unlock a new level, they zoom the camera to it in one part to show you where it is, but in another way to instill the desire of, hey look, there's a new level, let's go to that level, it looks fun. And that's true when the path splits too, right? They show you both and then you get to make the choice. I'm also a bit scared right now. The semester is starting next week officially, and while I have way less modules than last semester and I got through that, these modules are way more disconnected. I had hoped that in the lead up to the semester I would get far along on a couple projects so that I could use them to learn the modules themselves, but I haven't gotten there. They aren't ready yet, so I'm gonna have to take time from the semester doing that, which intimidates me, because I need a project to use a continuous integration pipeline on. And I had hoped that I would at this point have like at least, small little thing I could put in there. It's not there. It's not there. I haven't gotten that far yet. I've only really organized it. I've only really started figuring out how I want to do it. I am optimistic. I gotta be. But yeah, with all the days of recoveries I've been taking, it's scaring me. Because I know I needed those days, but I gotta minimize the amount of recovery days I can spend. If I spend every week with 2 days of recovery, well, I guess that's a weekend actually. But the thing is, they aren't on the weekend. They get in the way of other things. They are roadblocks. If they were on the weekend, that would be one thing, right? And I will be fully fine allocating time for them. But these are dynamic drains. These are things that when they take a hold, it just gets harder to get out of bed. And then I'm going about the day and I'm trying my best and nothing manifests. I don't get in the headspace. I don't get action done. When I try, and I do try, it's a very short amount of time before I, stop. And that's a hard thing to accept for me. I only have limited time. I got deadlines and stuff. I also got other rhythms to keep up with. I've got other ambitions and I've got to allocate all of this energy to different things. Having these sudden roadblocks, even if they are somewhat predictable at times, just from energy level, just from spoon levels, is hard. But I also think most of you can relate to that, actually. Even if maybe, less or maybe even more pronounced than that. So I've been watching 2 shows that now have wrapped up their seasons or, their entire run. The first of which is Sonic Prime. The 3rd season just came out a while ago. I hadn't watched it yet. I got around to it because I actually really adore the characters. I think 9 is a great Tails. I enjoyed Sonic Prime. Even though the multiverse thing is old at this point, it's not the wittiest show or anything. What I've been getting out of Prime, interestingly, is some gay themes, right? Like there's some gay chemistry. For one, the Amy's are all a polycule, and don't argue with me on that one, I'm right. But also, there's this huge amount of chemistry between Sonic and Shadow, and it's just adorable. And the second show I've been watching is Hazbin Hotel. It just wrapped up its 1st season. While I don't have a lot to say about it, I do hope it gets a couple more. I think this is one of those shows that really starts to bloom in later seasons. There were some very good songs in this show, and I would hate to see it leave already. But at the same time, it didn't have enough room to breathe in any direction. I think there might be 3 out of 8? 3 episodes I will be willing or eager to rewatch. The rest kind of just blend together, which is fine for a 1st season. I think we should be allowed to have bad 1st seasons again, because a lot of 1st seasons are about figuring out how to adopt this narrative to the exact medium. You often only see what works, what actually works, when you see it. You can make a lot of assumptions and you can, focus test and stuff, but that will always only give you a model and never a reality. You can only see what actually works once it's out, and once you got people talking, and once you get all the valuable and also the unvaluable feedback. That's my thoughts, at least. I have been reaching out to some people I haven't talked to in a long while. I've composed and sent 2 messages. I've got amazing feedback on the first, you know, like just happy to be in contact again. I don't expect to get anything back on the second. I don't know if I would like to get anything back on the second, to be honest. But I felt it very important to not outright burn bridges from my side. I'm also finally done with the 11th season of Doctor Who. I did enjoy it. I was skeptical, but I do like the fam. Yeah, I'm a bit struggling to say more about that, or at least anything that's worth saying that hasn't been said multiple times, to say things that I haven't said. I've spoken about Doctor Who a lot last time, maybe the time before too. Okay, one more and we're golden. Well, yeah, I guess the lesson of last week was that it's really important to take notes. My process so far has been, if I have a project, I keep it on my mind at all times, and I think really hard, and I try to keep all in there, because that's where the magic happens. And I'm realizing that that's not how magic works. It can be, you know, like my experience is that it worked occasionally, so it means that must be, you know, how you do things. But apparently, when you have an idea, you write it down and you come back to it when you want to think about it, instead of holding on to it until the time is right, and suddenly you can, you know, you can do your actions or whatever, and you can act on it, and then you run into a roadblock, you are stuck, and you have to suddenly pivot to figure out how to do it, and you better not get frustrated and stop, because if you get frustrated and stop, nothing is gonna happen anymore. Forever. It turns out that maybe what you do, maybe, we will see. We will be here next week and the week after and the week after, and we will see. We will compare notes. But I think maybe what you do is you take notes on these things and you keep going back to the notes and you keep reworking them until you're clear on what you want to do, until you're clear on how you're going to do it on a technical level, on a user flow level. Maybe, just maybe, that's how you do it. We will see. I am currently in the process of seeing. And that's that. The coffee's empty. I am very rambly at this point. Maybe because it's, you know, it's been a big coffee. We will see each other next week. Same place. Maybe I'll redecorate a little more. I do have something I could put around there. But we will see. You will see. I will see. We will both see. Until then, stay cute, stay loved, and, well, I'll see you. Bye!